30-second mark into the flight. The Soyuz booster and the Progress resupply craft traveling at 2,800 miles per hour, 15 miles downrange, an altitude of some 6.5 statute miles. And first stage separation is confirmed. The Soyuz booster's guidance system is now targeting for a precise window in space. The International Space Station has actually passed the Progress at this point, en route to its nominal orbit, as the Progress now is chasing the International Space Station. The Progress vehicle to the dynamics of space travel. And we have launch shroud jettison confirmed. The vehicle is reported to be very stable, good engine performance. Performance is good, very stable vehicle, reported by flight controllers. Coming up on the 4-minute, 45-second mark into the flight, standing by for second stage shutdown. And we have second stage shutdown. Third stage is burning. The third stage on the Soyuz booster will operate for about 4 minutes until it delivers the Progress into its preliminary orbit at the 8-minute, 45-second mark into the flight. Standing by for third stage shutdown and spacecraft separation, which we now have. Spacecraft separation is confirmed. Docking now is scheduled just 3 hours and 37 minutes from now at 8:39 p.m. Central Time. There's our first view from the external television camera on the Progress. You'll be seeing that again later this evening when the Progress arrives in the vicinity of the International Space Station. Both the Progress and the station are currently flying over eastern Russia, about to begin a northwest to southeast trajectory that will carry it over both craft over the Japanese island chain and out over the North Pacific. The values that you're seeing on the screen from the engineering overlay on the external camera on the Progress craft, in the lower left-hand corner, you see two values, km and meters per second in Cyrillic. That will ultimately show the distance between the Progress and the Pirs docking compartment, its ultimate destination on the Earth-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station, and the meters per second will ultimately reflect its rate of closure for contact and capture. of 3.8 meters per second, and there's a view from the Progress's television camera showing the International Space Station. You can see in the lower left-hand corner the two values, the distance between the Progress and the station, 1.1 kilometers, and the closure rate underneath that of 3.8 meters per second. At the time of contact and capture, coming up a short time from now, at the time that the forward docking probe comes into contact with the Piers docking compartment, the Progress will have slowed to a glacial 1/10 of a meter per second to enable the relative motion between the two vehicles to dampen out. That forward docking probe will retract to basically pull in the station to a hard mate between the two docking interfaces, and that will then set the stage for the Progress hooks to close at the docking interface. That will be followed by 3 hours worth of leak checks by the two Russian cosmonauts on board, Oleg Artemyev and Sergei Prokopyev, before the hatches are open to the Progress 70 cargo craft late this evening.
Fuego BPS initial. Confirmed. BPS initial. LEDs confirmed. We copy all.
Standing by in the Zvezda service module at a robotic workstation are the two cosmonauts, Artemyev and Prokopyev. They would be ready to take over manual control of the flying of the Soyuz under what is called the Toru system, or the telerobotically operated rendezvous system, in the unlikely event that the Corps' automated rendezvous system would encounter a problem at this point. However, the Corps has been rock solid in providing navigational data to the Progress's onboard computers, which is honing in for its docking a short time from now, some 30 minutes from now, to the Piers docking compartment.
All LEDs are on. Yacht to the right. All LEDs confirmed. Yacht to the left. Confirm. All LEDs are on. RHC test complete. No issues to report. Copy. Please perform translational hand controller test at this time. THC going up. All LEDs are on.
And this view now from truss cameras on the International Space Station showing the Progress vehicle. Rather remarkable that just 3 hours and 18 minutes ago it was on the launch pad at the Baikonur Cosmodrome, and now, just 2 orbits later, it's closing in for the completion of an expedited journey. Back to this view from the Progress itself, looking at the International Space Station, now just 560 meters or so away from its destination, closing at a rate of less than 2 meters per second. We should be moving into the point called the fly-around portion of this rendezvous operation. About 2 minutes or so from now, the fly-around will start at a range of about 400 meters, a 110-degree angle, to precisely align the forward docking probe on the Progress with the Piers docking compartment.
Олег, уточнение, почему возникло сомнение, почему спрашивал про повторить?
Oleg, was there any concern? Why did you ask if we wanted to repeat the test? No, I just wanted to make sure that I was able to fit the test in allotted time. I didn't have any concerns. I just wanted to see if you had any. No, we're all good. Continue on. Very good.
The International Space Station and the Progress 70 cargo craft are currently flying 260 statute miles over northwestern China, flying from northwest to southeast in an orbit inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator. This has been a textbook approach so far by the Progress craft since its launch just about 3 hours and 20 minutes ago from the Baikonur Cosmodrome.
Selecting best picture.
Again, this view now of the Progress as it slowly but surely makes its way from beneath the station toward the Piers docking compartment, where it is expected to link up less than a half an hour from now.
Disabling operational mode.
The visiting vehicle officer here in Mission Control reports that the fly-around is now underway. You'll see in this view, in this external cross-haired engineering camera, the motion, the relative motion between the Progress and the International Space Station that will ultimately result in an alignment of the forward docking probe with the Pirs docking compartment. Pirs was launched back in September of 2001 to serve both as a docking port for Russian vehicles as well as an airlock for Russian spacewalks.
I'll go ahead and continue fixing the video image if necessary, but report to us. Any change in enabled, disabled operation mode. Copy. Right now, range is 349 meters and 0.07 meters per second. Range rate. Copy. We are in auto fly around, so please continue monitoring the process. And for Sergey on Space to Ground 1, this is station flight control room. Please confirm that the recording has been started. We are recording at this time, Tatiana. Thank you very much, Sergey. We lost the video image for a short time.
Once again, you're looking at the view from the Progress 70 cargo craft. Almost 3 tons of food, fuel, and supplies for the half-dozen residents of the International Space Station, now just 278 meters away from its Pirs docking compartment docking port. The International Space Station closing in on the 20th anniversary of its first element launch, the Zarya module, back on November 20th, 1998.
We have good quality image. Another image dropout.
And an outstanding view of the Progress honing in on its final destination at the Pirs docking compartment. It's in the process of completing the fly-around, moving into a position of station keeping for just a few moments to allow Russian flight controllers to assess the relative alignment of the forward docking probe on this resupply craft to the Pirs docking compartment. The station keeping will occur at a range of about 195 meters or 639 feet away from Pirs. Both craft flying over southeastern China.
$230 метров.
230 meters on laptop, 0 range rate.
Принял вас.
We copy.
This view from the Progress as it completes its fly around. The vehicle that you see in the upper left-hand corner is the 69 Progress that is docked to the aft port of the Zvezda service module.
Fly around. And final approach.
And you can see almost in the crosshairs now the docking port on the Piers docking compartment.
Data match course data? Yes, it does. About 200 meters right now. Copy.
And the visiting vehicle officer now reports that we are in station keeping, so the Progress has completed its fly around and is stationary for.
All right, Oleg. We have received a go to set final approach flag on the Progress independently. So go ahead and select BPS initial from format 44. Copy. BPS initial operation and selecting format or display 44. Display 44. Final approach on station and final approach on Progress are set. Depots are on. Copy. Depots are firing. Disable.
And a breathtaking view of the Progress, almost against the limb of the Earth as it flies 260 miles over the Philippines.
7 meters on the left.
Final approach initiated. Everything in good shape so far.
And you are getting the video image from VACO.
168 meters separating Progress and the Piers docking compartment. Through the translator, the chief flight director for the Russian flight control team, Vladimir Soloviev, offering good early morning greetings to his two Russian cosmonauts on board the station, Oleg Artemiev and Sergei Prokopiev, who are monitoring the final approach of Progress for its link up, now just 125 meters separating Progress and the Piers docking compartment.
That's expected. Two and a half squares on the overlay.
An almost surrealistic view of the Progress flying over the Philippines, moving from northwest to southeast through one of the new enhanced high-definition cameras on the outside of the International Space Station. The Progress less than 100 meters away from the Piers docking compartment.
About 70 meters, 77 meters on VACO. On the laptop, 90 meters range. And it's not going down on the laptop. So there is a difference in laptop and VACO data. But the range rate data match. On the laptop, it's 0.32 meters per second. Copy.
With just 67 meters separating the Progress from the Piers docking compartment, once again, a fabulous view of the unpiloted resupply craft, which launched just 3.5 hours ago from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan in the final moments of a never-before accomplished two-orbit rendezvous to the International Space Station.
Operation mode enabled, and then we'll arm a command to retreat along the plus x-axis. Copy.
Размером 50 метров примерно.
50 meters per overlay, which matches course data. Left up shows 69 meters, so it's about 20-meter difference. Copy.
.48 meters separating the two craft.
1.5.
Progress closing at a rate of about 1.5 meters per second.
Docking interface, and that matches the course data. Copy.
An outstanding view of the Progress closing in for its docking. You can see on the right-hand portion of your screen one of the Ultraflex solar arrays on the Northrop Grumman Cygnus cargo craft, which tomorrow, all things being equal, will be used to reboost the station in a test objective with a 60-second burn of the Cygnus's delta velocity engine at 3:25 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday, to test the reboost capability of that particular cargo craft that is bolted to the Earth-facing port of the Unity module of the International Space Station.
Getting close to 30 meters.
Подошли к 30 метрам.
34 meters now separating Progress and the International Space Station.
У нас уже 30 метров по угловому
Course is a little behind, but based on the overlay assessment, we're at 30 meters now. Copy.
You can see the diamond-shaped docking target right underneath the docking port of the Piers docking compartment itself.
Go ahead and send.
It will come into perfect alignment with the crosshairs on this television view, thanks to the Corps' automated rendezvous system.
Operation confirmed and retreat along the plus x-axis enabled. Copy and concur. And that's complete.
Переходим на страницу 24.
Let's go to page 24, and we'll stand by for
Отвод по плюс X остались гореть внутренние светодиоды 2.
range of 15 meters. Copy. And the
Принял.
two middle LEDs remain on.
Нам подтвердили, что это все нормально, все в порядке.
Copy and
This is a view from the high-definition external viewer camera showing the Progress closing in for its link up to the Piers docking compartment, just 24 meters separating Progress from its destination. The Progress and the International Space Station now crossing the west coast of New Guinea, about to move across the northeastern coast of Australia.
Не отключаем.
please do not disable operational mode after you're finished changing AGC modes. Copy, and I remember. Thank you for the reminder, though.
Ну что, Олег, нормально?
So, Oleg, does it look okay?
Отлично идет пока.
Looks perfect. So far, so good.
Дальность небольшая, поэтому
Yeah, the range is
пересветку оставь в покое.
pretty close. So, let's just leave AGC mode where it is.
Хорошо наблюдаю.
Yeah, we're not messing with it anymore. We're getting good, stable image. Crosshairs are aligned. Everything looks good.
Тоже мишень хорошо наблюдаем, видим, что крест совмещен.
And we see the crosshairs aligned as well, and very good visibility of the docking target.
Две клетки постыковочной мишени.
2 squares on the overlay. That's how much the docking interface is now taking up. It's just a little bit of a mismatch. Copy. 0.11 on the laptop for range rate.
10 kilometers now separating Progress from the Pier's docking compartment, closing at the proper rate of 1/10 of a meter per second.
We're within the cone, closer than 3 meters at this time.
Принял.
Copy.
Four meters, standing by for contact and capture.
Вас понял, ожидаем косарь.
Copy. Standing by for contact and capture confirmed.
Contact confirmed, capture confirmed.
Принял, касание принял.
Copy. Contact and capture.
Docking confirmed at 8:31 p.m. Central Time, 9:31 p.m. Eastern Time, as Progress in the International Space Station flew 260 miles over the northern coast of Australia. A fast-track two-orbit rendezvous for Progress, setting another milestone in International Space Station history.
Олег, в принципе, можно послушать, как там жужжит, не жужжит.
Oleg, you can put your ear to it and see if you can hear whether it's buzzing or not. Okay, sir.
Ну, понятно, да, вы все.
You understand that you need to be in the DC-1 for that. Absolutely, Mr. Solovyev. Sergey is already on his way.
Once again, docking occurring over northern Australia after a textbook rendezvous of two orbits from the launch pad at the Baikonur Cosmodrome. Docking occurring at 8:31 p.m. Central, 9:31 p.m. Eastern Time. The relative motion between the Progress and the International Space Station now dampening out to set the stage for the retraction of the docking probe and the closing of the Progress hooks to form a hard mate.
You were coming kind of low. Yes, sir, absolutely. Absolutely, Mr. Vinogradov.
Так, доброй ночи, это Рогозин.
Top of the evening to you. This is Mr. Rogozin.
Доброй ночи.
Yes, so good to hear you, sir. Good to hear your voices, guys. Congratulations.
Я тоже хочу вас поздравить, в принципе,
Yeah, I wanted to say congratulations. I think it finally worked out for us.
Витковая наша схема.
We did it with the two-orbit approach and rendezvous.
Грузов, но вот с точки зрения...
This is pretty quick that we got these cargo items to you, and this is very promising in support of our upcoming plans, both for the current programs and the programs of the future. So this is definitely a giant step forward. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, we've been waiting for this milestone for a long time, and hopefully this will become the rule of thumb from here on out.
Сергей, я что хочу сказать, значит, там
Oleg,
то, что вы обещали, я и послал.
I just wanted to say that I made good on my promises for cameras and everything else.
Общался, можно было бы это тоже использовать на...
So hopefully all the stuff that we put on this Progress for you will come in handy and will be useful as far as providing extra footage of you re-entering and landing, as we talked about just several days ago. Sure. Thank you so very much. That's so nice and so good to hear and so good to know. Yeah, on behalf of all of our teams, congratulations. And feel free to give me a call anytime you need anything, okay, guys? Thank you. Likewise, congratulations are in order for everyone, everybody who's there with you, and everybody who made this happen today. This is definitely a remarkable milestone, and congratulations. Thank you so much. It's a good day for all of us. Cheers. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
The chief Russian flight director, Vladimir Solovyev, speaking to Oleg Artemyev and Sergei Prokopyev, the two Russian cosmonauts on board the International Space Station, congratulating them, and the two cosmonauts congratulating Solovyev in turn for this milestone achievement of a two-orbit rendezvous that Solovyev said would pave the way for expedited delivery of cargo and crew members in the future, not only for the station but for future programs. A great view of the Progress as it flies directly over Brisbane, Australia. Again, docking occurring at 8:31 p.m. Central, 9:31 p.m. Eastern Time, less than 4 hours after the Progress was launched on its Soyuz booster from the Baikonur Cosmodrome.
We went through a quick handover. Baikonur. Moscow Station, space to ground 1. Go ahead. Were you asking something or saying something? Yeah, that was Baikonur calling us. Nothing to do with you or us. Any action on our behalf?
And the visiting vehicle officer here in Mission Control, Tom Erkenswick, now confirms that the Progress hooks are closed, forming a hard mate between the Progress and the Piers docking compartment.
Copy.
This will set the stage now for a few hours of leak checks by the cosmonauts on their side of the docking interface before the hatch to the Progress resupply craft is scheduled to be open just after 11 p.m. Central Time in the wee hours of Tuesday morning Eastern Time.
Олег, 7:05 это ДМ было время.
Oleg, that 7:05 call, that was Moscow decree time. Yes, we understand who this is coming from and what time that's in. And plus, we've got everything on paper. 3 different timestamps. Ready to shut down video streaming on your go.
This is Mission Control Houston. You're looking at the newly arrived Progress 70 cargo ship, which made an expedited delivery run from its launch pad of the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan to a textbook and flawless docking to the Piers docking compartment just a few minutes ago at 8:31 p.m. Central Time, 9:31 p.m. Eastern Time, culminating a two-orbit rendezvous for the first time in International Space Station history, a milestone achievement that was hailed by the chief Russian flight director Vladimir Solovyev as well as space station program officials, this coming on the third attempt to accomplish this feat following 2 previous launch postponements that scuttled this particular effort to reach the station in this short amount of time. So with the Progress safely linked up now to the Piers docking compartment, the Russian cosmonauts on board the station will conduct leak checks to make sure that we have an airtight seal at the docking interface before they open the Progress hatch and begin to unload the first of 2.8 tons of cargo delivered for the Expedition 56 crew on board the International Space Station. As the station and Progress travel from northwest to southeast, approaching New Zealand, we will wrap up our broadcast.